Alright guys, before the show gets started, I do want to say that this video does not have a webcam or, a face cam, whatever you want to call it. We decided that we didn't want to do the face cam, but if you guys really insist on doing the face cam, we will do it, but that obviously doesn't matter if you're listening to this on SoundCloud. But for those of you who are watching on YouTube, let us know if you guys want the face cam or not, and if you guys really want it, we'll bring it back, but if not, we're going to keep this style going where there is no webcam. So yeah, anyways, let's get on with the show, shall we? Welcome your faces, your beautiful faces, to the Illogical Show. Today is going to be another deep and emotional story coming from me, and I feel that since the last video or the last show was about my depression and my anxiety and all that stuff, you guys deserve to know where it comes from. I mean, obviously, it doesn't just come from that. I mean, it's a mental illness, and yeah. So, I do want to start by saying that if you're very emotional and stuff like that, I advise you to get a box of tissues because this one is gonna get deep. I even have a box of tissues myself, and and I'm ready. If I need to take a break, I'll take a break. So if there's any cuts during this, I am sorry. It's just something that's very dear to me. It is very deep to me. So yeah, where do I start? I don't know where to start with this one because honestly, there's so much pent up emotion from this, and I haven't gone to see a therapist about it or anything because I just feel like they're not gonna help. So I'm just gonna try to lay it out without getting too emotional about the whole situation and stuff. So where do I start? I want to start probably in 2010, right around when I met this girl playing Modern Warfare 3 on the PS3. This was my first shooter game on the PlayStation, so I mean, I didn't know what to expect. So basically, what ended up happening was I was on a 23 streak. I was about to get a Moab because I was running specialist with hardline. I was a little specky cunt. So basically, this player kills me, and I didn't know. I was like being a douchebag, whatever. They kill me. I was mad. I was raging. This person messages me and says sorry because they realized that I was on a 23 streak. I was about to drop MOAB on them. Anyways, so they say sorry, and I start talking shit about their parents, saying like, "Oh, I hope your mom dies in a car crash. I hope your father burns in a house or whatever." Typical rage bullshit, right? So the next game, this person is on my team, and I didn't know it was a chick until she turned on her mic and said, "Hey, what was my name back then? I don't even remember what my name was, but she's like, "Hey, I'm sorry." And I turned on my mic saying, I'm sorry because I didn't know it was a girl, all right? And I said all those mean, awful things. So we started talking. We became really good friends right away. I don't know why she decided to be friends with me after what I said in the DMs or the messages box, whatever you want to call it. But she became my friend. We played Modern Warfare 3 every day for the next 3 months together. Every day I would come home from school, I would play, Modern Warfare 3, and I would see her, and she would be online as well, playing Modern Warfare. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to join the party, let's link up and let's play. So this then turns into kind of like a relationship where we're talking and more, bigger things and stuff like that. So it becomes a relationship at this point. I got the girl's phone number. We started texting and stuff. Well, I'm messaging because I didn't have a phone at the time. I had an iPod. I think the iPod 5th generation was out by then. I think it might have been the 5th or 4th gen iPod. I don't remember. But kudos to that. Shit's so old. But anyways, so we started iMessaging and whatever. She had her little iPod and stuff. And then my friend was like, "Yo, want to FaceTime me?" And I was like, "What the fuck's FaceTime?" What the fuck? I didn't know that shit. All I knew about that was that iMessage or whatever. that you can just like message each other on iMessage. And then he told me about FaceTime. So I was like, okay, so we FaceTime. By the way, that was my first time FaceTiming as well. So anyway, so a few days passed and me and her just kind of talking. She didn't come online one day and I was just like, well, fuck, I don't got no one to play with. So like, I'm just gonna not play today. And I, she was still texting me and everything. She just wasn't able to play. So I was like, whatever. And I find out, right? I asked her where she's from and she said, Worcester, Massachusetts. And I was like, no way. Like, I live there as well. And so I find out that this girl literally lives like not even like 2 miles from me. Like, she literally like lived up the street from me. Like, up the street around the corner. Like, that's how close she lived to me. And I was just like, that is some fucking bullshit right there. What the actual fuck? So this girl and I make plans to meet up and stuff like that. So we meet up or whatever. We hang out at her place because, my parents didn't let me have friends over that were females at the time. And now that I'm 18, I just don't give a fuck. I invite females over whenever the fuck I want. Which I don't have any female friends. So yeah. Anyways, so where do I go next with this? So we start hanging out more and, everything. And by the way, I'm 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see how easily this could have went west, or south, west, south, whatever. Anyway, so we start hanging out like a lot. And my mom's just like, you've been going out a lot recently because it's not like me to go out, So I told her, I was like, yeah, I have a girlfriend. And my mom fucking flipped tits at the time. She literally like flipped the tits. Like, she smacked the shit out of me. And she's like, you don't have a girlfriend. You're lying. Like, she didn't believe it at first. And the only reason why she didn't believe it was because my brother didn't get a girlfriend until almost 16 years old. Right? High school, middle school, whatever. So, like, at this point, I was still in elementary school, I think I was in the 5th or 4th grade. I think, somewhere around there. And I had a girlfriend. So, anyway, fast forward a little bit. And me and this girl get, really close. We start, like, we're obviously dating. We're super close to each other. We're hanging out every day, playing Modern Warfare 3 every single day. Like, this was our thing. This was my daily routine. At about a year passes, and basically, after this first year, it gets so bad that I just say fuck school at this point. I don't do my homework. I start being a bad kid, and all that. So this girl has really shifted my life in a different perspective, in a different way, and right. So now that you guys got a little background information about this girl and what the story is going to be about. So 2014, it turns out to be the worst year of my life. This is my 4th year dating this girl that I met on Call of Duty. How nice. So this girl, we're so close at this point. I think the year before that we were talking about marriage in the future and stuff like that. And like what I wanted to do for a career and all that kind of stuff. Like, we were really getting into, planning our life out and planning everything out. And then something bad happens. And so this is where the things start to go south in the story. So I'll get your tissues ready. Okay. Now, we're obviously in love with each other. I thought we were in love with each other. Well, I mean, I was in love with her. But apparently she wasn't in love with me. And you'll find out why at the end here. So. I do need to add, though. The roommate that I live with right now. He was also involved in the next story that's going to be told in this show. On the show right now. And I didn't want to bring him on the show because. It's the other year, 2015. The other story is a little deeper to him than it is to me. So that's why I would rather tell his point of view than than have him actually come and do it because he can't handle it. So that's just a little thing for the next story. But so this girl, we've been dating for 4 years. You know, we're really close to each other. We're planning future out. We're doing all this stuff, and it is coming towards the end of 2014. You know, summer's just about to be over. And, well, actually, summer is over because we're already back in school. And, I wake up one morning. No, hang on. I need to, preface something real fast. That, so what happened, before this whole I woke up thing was, it was just a few weeks before school was starting. Well, I was in school, but her school hasn't started yet. Because, you know, of some stupid ass reason. But anyways, so basically what happened was, I woke up and I was like, I just want to hang out with her. And I lied to my mom. I mean, I do regret lying to my mom, but at the end of the day, it saved her life for the next like few weeks, right? So I told my mom that I just don't feel right, that I feel like something bad's gonna happen today. Can I stay home? So my mom was like, okay, like, you know, because my mom at that time was really chill, really relaxed. She trusted everything that I said. So obviously now she doesn't, but anyways, point is that she let me stay home, and she had to go to work and my dad had to go to work, so I was gonna be home alone because my brother was already at school. My brother was in high school at this point. So basically, I don't tell my mom that I'm going over her house. I just go to her house. And by the way, her parents knew that I was going over her house, so like it was okay, right? At least her parents knew. Well, she told her parents because she was sick. She had the flu, and her parents didn't want me to be over there because she didn't want to get sick. They didn't want me to get sick, and you know, me go home and get my parents sick, and everybody else in the family sick. So it was reasonable, but they let it slide, right? Because they couldn't say no. She was home alone. Her little sister was at school and all that stuff, right? So we're there, we're chilling, we're playing, like, she's laying against me, I'm, like, on the back of the couch, right, you know, cuddling, doing whatever, she's playing the game, or whatever, being a beast, and then, out of nowhere, her lungs start filling up with water, basically, she's choking. At the time, I didn't know, so, like, she started choking out of nowhere, and I just didn't know what to do. She was putting out the phone to call 911 or whatever, because she already knew, I guess she knew, because, you know, she can feel it or whatever, so, I called 911, and paramedics come, and at this point, I'm freaking out. I'm texting her mom, I'm texting her dad, I'm texting, like, everybody that I know, because I'm freaking out, like, I don't know what's going on, like, I'm fucking, 14 years old, come on, and so, her mom told me to go with her or whatever. And I texted my mom. I obviously texted my mom, before. I was like, I told you I was feeling something bad, and then this just happened or whatever. So, my mom's like, oh, I'm sorry, baby, or whatever. So, I'm in the ambulance with her. They're, like, working on her and shit, and it's just, like, at this point, it's such, like, a train wreck. I'm such a train wreck. It's, like, emotions all over the place. Everything is just going crazy. Life is going downhill from there, right? So, we get to the hospital. You know, obviously, I can't go in the operating room and stuff like that. So, I was just waiting in the waiting room. Just kind of like, you know, waiting. Basically, a few hours pass. And, they come out and get me. And they're like, if you want to go see her, you can. But she's, you know, sleeping right now. And all that kind of stuff. So I go see her, and I'm just like I'm devastated. Like, this is the girl that I fell in love with, and she's hooked up. She's got like fucking 2 PICC lines, 1 on each arm, fucking wires going all over her fucking body, and shit. Fucking, breathing tubes and shit. It's just like, when you're in that situation, it's like, it's really devastating to see a loved one like that. You know what I'm saying? And I was like that with my dad as well, even though I kind of, me and him don't really get along. But I was like that with my dad as well when he was in the hospital, It's just when you see a loved one like that, it's just like, well, fuck, basically. Like, it hurts. So, anyway, fast forward a couple weeks. She gets better, kind of better. She's still in the hospital because she can't leave, which kind of sucks. I wake up one morning with this really, really bad vibe, this bad feeling, this like something bad is going to happen today. And I told my mom, like, it's an emergency. Like, I need to stay home. Like, I need to go see Casey or whatever. By the way, that's her name. I hope her parents don't get mad at me for saying her name or whatever. But basically, I was like, I just feel really bad that I just like feel like something really bad's going to happen. And I told my mom, like, if you're not going to stay home, not let me stay home, I'm just going to fucking leave school. I'm not going to stay. Like, and at this point, I think I was in middle school. So, basically, at this point is, she lets me stay home, and this was like at 4 a.m, by the way. Like, we got up super early in my house to get everything ready and done for the morning and get me ready, get my brother ready to go to high school, get me ready to go to middle school, whatever. That's fine. But my mom had to be to work for 8, and I would have no ride to get to the hospital. So she dropped me off at like 7. Like, we left the house at like 6:30. I got there by 7. And I was like, I just went and sat in her room until she woke up. Right? And this day will be the last day and the most hardest day that I will ever have to go through, honestly. And it's been like, 4 years now? And I still have trouble going through this day because, like, it just affects me so hard. And honestly, that's why I do YouTube and, all this stuff, is to take my mind off of the stuff. Like, I do, like, it's on my mind every day, honestly. It really is. And it kills me. And my girlfriend knows this, like, and there's other reasons too that I'm going to talk about why it hurts so much and why I am the person today. Obviously, you guys won't know who I am as in a relationship, but my girlfriend can vouch and say that, like, I'm always worried about something. You know what I'm saying? So this day, I wake up, go to the hospital. I'm sitting on the chair, and I move the chair forward and grab her hand as she's sleeping. And I'm just like thinking, like what if she passes? Like, what if, like, what's gonna happen? How am I gonna react to this? How am I gonna do this? And so basically, she wakes up a couple hours later, and so we spend time together and stuff like that. And it is getting windy out. I'm recording this in the middle of a storm, so yeah. Dedication, guys. Dedications. So basically, how do I say this? So we were cuddling. A few hours go by. We're watching some movie. I don't know what the fuck. We were watching some romantic movie. I don't remember the name of the movie, and I don't want to remember the name of the movie because I will never watch that movie again. So yeah. Basically, we're cuddling there and stuff like that. And she says to me, she tells me, she like taps my shoulder with her other hand. And I look at her and she says, I want to tell you something. And she said, I want you to be somebody for me. Be somebody. Go out there. Do something amazing. Go do something that you love and you're passionate about, and be somebody. And those words are stuck in my head played back loop by loop in my head every day, because those were the last words I heard from her, pretty much. Those were the last words that I heard from her, was to be somebody for her. And when she said that, right after she said that, her heart stopped out of nowhere. Doctors to this day don't know what happened and why it happened, but yeah, like, she said that instead of like, I love you or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, if she said I love you, that still would be looping in my head, you know what I'm saying? And if she had said I love you, I probably wouldn't be in a relationship right now, because like, I would be too devastated to get into another relationship. But she said that, and that honestly changed my perception in life so much. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So after that happened, after the whole, her heart stopped beating, and I got up out of, like, I swear to God, guys, I got out of the bed so fast to get a nurse or somebody or someone to help. And after that, basically, the nurses and stuff came rushing in, doctors pushing me out of the way, slamming the door behind me, or slamming the door in my face rather. And I just sat by the door. One of the nurses comes out, pulls me off to this like room, this quiet room away from everybody, and she said that she didn't make it, and that they couldn't save her. Now, at this point, the emotion in me at that point was just so like done with life, because I really did love her and shit. So like, I was done with life. I didn't leave the hospital until like 8 o'clock at night, until I was forced to leave. Like, I stood by her side from 8 a.m. 8 a.m. when it not 8 a.m. when it happened. From 10 a.m. from when this all happened and they declared her dead. Like, cause they put her back in the room or whatever, or she was in the room, and I stuck by her side until from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. until I was forced to leave. When her mom showed up at like 6 o'clock, I had texted her mom, and this is where it gets really hard, because like, so many people were involved in this story, in this, and I wish I can get her parents on, but I lost contact with them about 2 years ago, and I don't know if my roommate has any contact with them either. So like, it's hard to deal with this shit, and it's still hard to deal with this shit, and it's been 4 years since the whole incident. Anyways, so I leave the hospital. My parents are still not home from work. My parents didn't get home till like 11 o'clock. And I did the unthinkable, and I wanted to be with her, so I tried. No, it wasn't that night. So, my mom understood what I was going through, so she let me stay home as long as I needed to. So, I'm gonna fast forward a couple days forward. I had this neighbor who I always texted every day, no matter what. If I was at school, if I was whatever, if I wasn't unable to text her because my Wi-Fi was down, I would walk to McDonald's. That was like literally 5 miles from my house, and I would text her. So this neighbor, she's about like 29 now, I think. She's 29 now. 4 years ago, she was 26. No, 25. She was 25. And this neighbor meant the world to me, because like, we would always hang out, even if like it was snowing or whatever. But this neighbor, her sister used to go to my school, my elementary school. Her name was Madison. I shouldn't probably be naming names, but it's okay. At least I'm not naming last names. You know what I'm saying? But okay, so her sister name was Madison. We would hang out all the time, and well, I would hang out with the neighbor, her bigger sister, and she knew something was up one day when I wasn't texting back, because I would always text her every day. My parents weren't home. My brother was at school, and I wasn't texting. And I had told her about the whole situation. So, if you guys can, get a hint of what I'm talking about here, is I did the unthinkable. I tried to take my own life by cutting my wrist and taking a bunch of pills that I didn't know. So, to this day, I wish I hadn't done that, because now I have stomach issues and all that other, stuff. But bottom line is, she knew something was wrong. And she always had a key to my house. My parents gave them a key to my house so she can always check up on me and stuff like that if I stay home. So she knew that I wasn't texting back. I didn't text her at all that day. And she knew something was wrong. And she came at the right time, as I just had done it. Not even like maybe, it was not even like 2 minutes. Like, I swear to God, it wasn't even 2 minutes. Like, I was on the floor, just laying there. I was about to pass out, actually, when she came in the bathroom, which was, honestly, if I could talk to her to this day, I owe her a big thank you for coming in there and saving my life. And I know my girlfriend's about to get mad about this, but I hope she doesn't get mad about this. I hope she understands. But this girl literally took her shirt off and her like bra to tie my arm up to stop the bleeding. And so she had time to call an ambulance, right? And then she realized the pills on the fucking floor, like, that this is more serious, you know what I'm saying? Like, and all I remember is like her freaking out, crying, like talking to the dispatcher. I don't remember what she said, and the only reason why I have memory of this is because it haunts me to this day. I get thoughts about suicide a lot. Not my family doesn't know, my girlfriend doesn't know. It's like I keep it in to myself. I try to control my depression and a lot of that other stuff myself, not realizing the consequences that I'm doing to others, how I'm making others feel, because like sometimes I just lash out, right? It's like it's something that I can't control sometimes. So bottom line is, this girl saves my life or whatever, and I get to the hospital, I get help and stuff, and they should have kept a really close eye on me from the start, but they didn't. So, like, I mean, I continuously, for many years, up until just this year, I continuously would cut myself over this whole thing and all that other stuff. And it's not something that I can't control, is because it's a mental illness, which it sucks. Like, right now, I really want to get help for it, but I can't, because my mental illness just does not want me to get help. You know what I'm saying? For those of you who feel my pain, you know, I'm there with you. You know what I'm saying? And basically, so that's that whole situation. This is where it gets worse, right? So I thought this girl loved me, right? I thought I was her world. I thought she was my world, right? a few months pass after this whole thing happens, and her parents, gave me all her sweaters, her her cell phone, because they know it meant so much to me, and how she was so close to me, and stuff like that. So they gave me her stuff. And I knew her password to her cell phone. It was always the same password. She never changed it. So, like, basically, I didn't look at the cell phone for like another year. So now it's about 2015. It's the beginning of 2015, and I'm curious to see what's in the cell phone. You know, I looked at the pictures. It was just pictures of like us and all that stuff. And then I go through the messages to look at all of our old messages, because I didn't save our messages at the time. And what I found was just unbelievable, and it hurts me to this day. I have so many trust issues because of it. I was basically the side guy. She had another dude. She was talking to another dude. She was cheating on me, and you know what? After I saw that, what burns in my memory is her saying, "I love you so much. I would never hurt you." And then I found that. When I found all those texts, my reaction was I threw the phone. I whipped the phone at the wall. I was pissed. I was upset. I didn't know how to feel, basically. And to this day, it hurts me. It haunts me that I was stupid to let it, slide. I had this feeling that she was cheating on me, and I just never brought it up to her. And that's another thing I don't have with closure with, is her cheating. I never talked to her about it, so it never came to mind. It never came to her mind that I knew. And I should have talked to her about it. Maybe if I had talked to her about it, things would be different now. I just don't know, and I don't have closure on it, and it really, really hurts me. And with my girlfriend, I don't think she understands that, like, I'm afraid of getting cheated on again. I'm afraid that I'm not gonna have that same love that I want because of what she did. And my girlfriend said she loves me, and I believe her. And the problem is I just don't want to get hurt again. And it's so hard for me because I ask her every fucking day. And I tell her every day, I'm worried about you cheating on me. I'm worried about you lying to me. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. And it's gotten to this point where I feel she's getting annoyed with it. She's getting too upset. And it's because of my stupid fucking issues. Also, it's gotten so bad now. I have nightmares about it. I have all this shit. And honestly, if I had never gone through that phone, I feel like it would have been a total different outcome. You know what I'm saying? So this is 2014. That's the 2014. Everything that happened to me in 2014 in the start of 2015. So her parents, right? Okay. So now, I don't want to say that they're bad parents because they shipped off their other daughter to me and my roommate. But basically, they were going through a mental state, right, where they couldn't take care of their daughter or whatever, right? So they were like, okay, who can we trust that is close to us and stuff like that? Instead of going to a family member or whatever, they go to me and my roommate. Now, I do want to, before I get into this one, I do want to say a little bit about the funeral and stuff of Casey. I couldn't deal with it. I actually had to leave the funeral because and my roommate can vouch for this as well. Like, I couldn't deal with it. Like, even after the whole funeral, I cried for 2 weeks straight. I just couldn't deal with it. It was too much. Even seeing her at the funeral home, when you do the awake or whatever, like seeing her lit up in the casket was just too much for me. I even had to give a speech. Her parents wanted me to give a speech on the thing. Like, it was bad. But anyways, I don't really want to talk about that, the funeral and stuff, because that is what really gets me the most. So, like, that, I just want you guys to know that, like, it really, like, got to me. So, anyways, I want to get into this next story here, or this next part of my life. So, okay, well, where do I start? So, like I was saying, her parents didn't go to her family or any of their families or anything. They went to us, me and my roommate. By the way, my roommate that I am talking about also was there at the funeral with me. But they're like, hey, you're really close with us. Can you guys watch her for like maybe 1 or 2 years while we get ourselves settled and, you know, try to deal with losing Casey. And I was like, yeah, well, like, yeah, sure. Like, we'll do it. We'll take care of her or whatever. So, okay. So we do. A few months go by, and, you know, obviously her little sister's upset that she lost her bigger sister. And, you know, we were talking her through it, doing everything. And I want to say about a year goes by. So it's actually 2016. About to be 2016. It's about to be 2016. It's about December of 2015. And I still don't know. Like, I don't want to even talk about this because this is not my story. Obviously, I was affected by it, and I feel that's why I should talk about it. But it's not my story. It's not my life to talk about. But I'm doing it for him because he can't do it himself. So, December. And it was almost a year. And since, you know, her sister was going through this whole crisis and this whole thing. And so one day she asks us to go get her food. And this is where me and my roommate regret. One of us should have stayed back. But we didn't. We both went out and got her food. And that's what I regret the most. I should have stayed. He should have went. But no, we both went. And we regret it to this day. He regrets it the most. I obviously regret it, but he regrets it the most. So we go and get out her food. While we're out, we were out for about like an hour and a half. And we come back and we hear running water from the bathroom. And that's two signs. She did something or she's taking a bath, shower. So I told him, wait, I'm going to go up there. But, I mean, we both went upstairs, but I told him, wait, don't come in here. Because the moment I looked through the crack of the bathroom, I saw her lying on the floor. I told him to wait there. I go in the bathroom. The image that I see, what I saw, is burned in my head for eternity. She had taken, like, all of our painkillers, and I mean, like, Tylenol, Advil, and all that stuff. There was a bottle of Tylenol that was empty. There's a bottle of Advil, and like another small pill bottle or whatever. I don't know what that other pill bottle was. And then I look over and I see that her arm was facing the other way, facing down. So I moved it, and all I saw was vertical cuts or horizontal cuts that were deep. And I immediately like broke out into tears. I told him, go downstairs, don't go in there. I pulled my phone out, I called 911, but it was too late. It was literally too late. They got there and they said that it was too late. She's been like this for over an hour. And I forgot to add in the part where he walks in to the bathroom, but he walks in and just breaks out like in tears because he was so close to this girl. Like, he was so like, they were best friends. Like, they hanged out most of the time. Actually, most of the time in her room because like she didn't want to leave her room. But he was so close to her. Like, I honestly felt so bad. And it gets worse. You know, so at this point we were in contact with her parents, obviously. And that day they texted us to ask us how she's doing, how she's feeling. And me and him couldn't bring ourselves to tell them. And it was so hard to like actually send the text. Like, I had written out the text. It was so hard to hit the send text button because they already lost one daughter. And telling them that they lost their second daughter, honestly, would have, I don't know how to like describe it, but I sent the text. And at the time they were living in Florida, so like they went to Florida, and like her mom texted me, "We'll be on the next flight back." Like, instantly, just no. She's like, "We'll be on the next flight back." And so, it goes on. You know, Avery's so fucked up at this point. And what made it worse was his girlfriend didn't understand at the time. And she ended up breaking his heart by cheating. So, like, that just added on to it. And he, the awake comes. It's time to do the awake. He comes, sees her in the casket, and walks out. Like, not out of the funeral home, but walks to a different, like, he walks out of the room. And, like, I felt for him. I knew what it was like, because I went through the same thing in 2014, you know? So I was there for him every step of the way. But when it came to the funeral, it was too much for him. He went, put his flowers on the casket, and just then, like, he looked and was like, he looked at me and he said, "I gotta go. I can't be here." And, like, what I mean by he can't be there, he didn't just go to his car. He physically, like, left the cemetery. And I was just like, it destroyed him. And to this day, like, I don't talk to him about the whole anything about 2014 or 15. I don't mention the years. I don't mention anything to him, because I know the minute I say 2015 or 2014, it's just gonna fuck him up. And, like, I just don't want to put him through that emotional pain anymore. He's kind of gotten used to, like, over it, and I'm not about to bring him back into this because I'm not out of it yet. You know what I'm saying? I would rather have him be out and be okay and have him had dealt with it than bring him back in. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, it's hard. It's hard for both of us, but it's more harder for me because I can't get out of it. He doesn't have he doesn't have depression. He doesn't have anxiety, so he can get over it much easier than I can. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's 2014 and 2015. That's been the episode. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube. But if you're listening to this on SoundCloud, I would greatly appreciate if you hit that follow button. Also give it a heart, because I did take the time to record this. And yeah, so with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.